Hi students, today we will be beginning our presentation for our upcoming assessment, specifically by beginning to research and unpack the information found in order to prepare our speeches on natural disasters. You should be aware of your allocated natural disaster by now. If not, I'll remind you when we split for independent work. Before we dive into it, let's have a recap on where our information can be drawn from. Books, websites, brochures, flyers, videos, newspapers, images, and advertisements are some of the many possibilities available to pull information from. Today we will begin diving into websites. Our focus point for our research will be what causes natural disasters. For this model, I'll be focusing on hurricanes. We begin by searching what causes hurricanes. Noticing this top section first, we must remember that this isn't where we begin pulling information from. This isn't a website. We need to click into the link below in order to find all the available information. Now that we've found the website, we can begin reading it in order to find out what we're looking for. What causes hurricanes? Disasters explained. Hurricanes. What? Hurricanes form in the tropical Atlantic and the eastern Pacific. Typhoons form in the West Pacific and cyclones form south of the equator, off the coast of places such as Australia and Madagascar. While we don't need all of this section, we can use parts of it, such as hurricanes form in the tropical Atlantic Ocean and the eastern Pacific Ocean. We can write this information into a mind map, which we will refer back to later. The next section exactly is a hurricane. A hurricane is a cyclone weather system that forms in the tropics and has sustained wind speeds of more than 74 miles per hour. Again, this is information that can be used in our mind map, written as hurricanes are the same as cyclones. What is the difference between a hurricane, a typhoon, and a cyclone? This is something which we do not need to include. How do hurricanes form? This section will be important to include. Hurricanes are delicate and need specific conditions to form and persist. Sea temperature needs to be at least 27 degrees Celsius, which is why they only form in the tropics. The key information that we can put into our mind map is the sea temp needs to be at least 27 degrees Celsius. The air above the sea heats up via convection. This warm, moist air rises. The atmosphere heats up, the pressure changes and lowers at the surface. Key information here is that the air above the sea heats up, changing the pressure at the sea surface. Wind from the surrounding areas then rushes in to fill the space left by this area of low pressure, while the Earth's rotation causes the wind to spiral and become cyclical. Key information here is that the wind fills the empty space at sea level, making it spin, causing a hurricane. Eye of the storm tends to form once wind speeds reach 74 miles per hour, the point at which a tropical storm is reclassified as a hurricane. The information we can pull from this section is that the eye of the storm, the strongest and most dangerous section, is formed when wind speeds reach 74 miles per hour, equals to 119 kilometers per hour. Winds are fueled by high humidity, so change of wind or dry air can make them weaken and eventually disapparate. The information in this line is dry wind or air can make hurricanes disappear. How often do hurricanes occur? Hurricane season is from July until November. Usually there will be between 6 to 8 hurricanes spread across this period. The information here is that 6 to 8 hurricanes occur between July until November each year. How do hurricanes get their names? This information is not needed within our section, neither is the impact. If we've completed our mind map, we can compare this information to a second website in order to ensure it's true. Our second website, How Do Hurricanes Form?, states that warm ocean air rises into the storm, forming an area of low pressure underneath. This mirrors what was said within our first website. Wind speeds within a storm reach 74 miles per hour. Remembering that 74 miles per hour equals 119 kilometers per hour means that this also mirrors what we found in our last website. Water at least 26.5 degrees Celsius over a depth of 50 meters powers the storm. Our last website stated that it was a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. However, as it's only a difference of 0.5 degrees Celsius, this highlights our last website. However, we can add over a depth of 50 meters to our mind map. A large difference in wind speed and direction around or near the storm can weaken it. It also highlights what has been previously stated within our website. We can look at our mind map in order to write a summary of the information we found. I will model the first sentence for you, then you will be able to go off and complete your own mind map and summaries as your independent task. Turning back to our mind map, our first point says, hurricanes form in the tropical Atlantic Ocean and the eastern Pacific Ocean. We can combine this with our second point of, a hurricane is the same as a cyclone. Together, these can be written into our summary as, a hurricane is a tropical cyclone which occurs within the tropical Atlantic and Eastern Pacific. You may now go off and complete this activity independently. Remember, you are focusing on the question of, what causes natural disasters? Make sure you keep your mind map and summary safe because these will be important once we begin writing our speeches later.